Well, I'd like to use this drawing to illustrate how to make a new symbol that works in the same way as the gCADPlus symbols. The symbol you see at the top of the page here, if you look in the properties box, is L-PLNT-SYMBOL 05. So that comes from the standard library in gCADPlus. How do we go about making a new symbol that will work in the same way? The first thing to note is if we look at our layers, we have, as well as layer 0, a layer called plant construction and a layer called plant symbol. If I turn on the construction layer, you can see that it's made up of a circle of radius 500. So the symbols are made within that circle, but they're made on a layer called L-PLNT-SYMBOL. And if we turn that layer off, all the fancy illustrative material disappears and you're just left as a symbol for the construction team. So how do we make a new symbol that works in that very same way? What I've done here is take the basis of one of our students who's working on just that problem, and if we look in here, you can see here are a whole lot of, in that case it's a polyline, and then there are some circles that are filled. And if we wanted to make a symbol of Prunus echo, we could just put a selection around them. We could then right click and create a block, and we need to give it a name. Prunus, we've selected them, so we need to give it a name. Do not use the reserve Windows characters like quotes and single quotes and equal signs. So we'll just call this human eco. Oops. And we need to pick a point, and we traditionally will pick that, and you'll see the reason for it in a moment, at the center of the symbol, and we just go OK. So we've transformed that symbol into one called Prunus echo. We can do the same here. Let's repeat it again. We'll select all the entities that we want to put into the symbol. We check that the things are on the correct layer, and we'll now create the block. We've selected them, so our next step is to pick a point. It's called a base point. It's the anchor point for when we bring this symbol into other drawings. Of course, you want to add these symbols to your own block library, so we'll OK it. It mentioned, oops, I'll say no for the moment, we need to give it a new name. That was a trap for young players. We should call this one Pink Perfection. And now we can hit OK that. So there's our new symbol. And let's just test that it works as it should. We should be able to go into layers and turn off the symbol. We should be left with just a marker at the point. On the subject of the marker, we formatted and set it up so that the point sign is a cross sign through the point 1.5% of window height. The reason that that's important is if we turn on the symbol again, is that if we pick this symbol and rotate it like so, notice that the point marker still stays square to us, and that's really important when you use these symbols in your design work, so that the plus sign, the marker, stays. Nothing worse than looking at a drawing where all of those are at different angles. So let's just test our symbol. We'll select it and we'll copy it, and we'll paste, paste, paste. We'll use the measure tool. As it stands at the moment, they should be a metre or 1,000 units across. We'll turn off our construction layer just for the moment and imagine that we're using this specimen in a design. We can pick and rotate, give this a bit more variation. We could even pick and right click and scale, and that would give our placed symbols a little more variation, and we could even pick it up by the base point. See how easy it is to use these symbols that have been made in the gCADPlus way. So I hope that helps in allowing you to develop your own set of symbols that'll work in a very convenient and seamless way with gCADPlus.